For the Democratic presidential candidate George McGovern, the Pennsylvania crowds were mostly friendly today, but one fellow was not, and he got shoved around by Secret Service agents. Mr. Kissinger now in Cambodia after more talks with President Xi in Saigon. I'm Paul Moyer. The KNBC News Service is just around the...
TWA is the only airline that gives you a comfortable coach lounge on nearly every flight across the United States. This is TWA's small, intimate 707 coach lounge. This is TWA's big, comfortable 747 coach lounge. We're the only airline that offers you both. Next time you're flying across the United States, take a TWA ambassador flight, coach or first class. It's the most comfortable fleet of planes in the world. TWA's ambassador service to New York and the East.
First stop was at Nixon campaign headquarters on Wilshire for coffee and donuts. The group of women have stopped at more than 200 Nixon headquarters throughout the state, distributing campaign literature and shaking hands with volunteer workers. Joining the final miles of the 3,000-mile bus tour was Mrs. Lenore Romney of Michigan. She had a few words to say about the presidential election.
The government that I know in Washington is a government that represents all of the people. And it is a government whose first, second, third, and fourth priority is for peace.
While Mrs. Romney talked with GOP women, the Democrats were working at the Hilton Hotel not far away. There, New York Mayor John Lindsay and Lawrence O'Brien, national campaign chairman for the McGovern-Shriver ticket, talked with newsmen. O'Brien discussed President Nixon's financial dealings and said he feels the truth is being kept from the public.
Every element of this administration that could be brought into play has been brought into play to block, as you know, the record, block the facts, avoid any exposure, at least until after the election.
And so the campaigning went on throughout the day by both parties. And though they were never very far apart from each other by location, they were widely separated by politics. Morgan Williams, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
California's Secretary of State Edmund Brown Jr. announced today that 7 candidates for the state legislature have failed to file the required campaign contribution statement and now could face legal prosecution.
With Concepcion at second and on a single and a steal, and Rose at first on an intentional walk. There's Concepcion. There's Rose. It's Joe Morgan at the plate, and he pushes a Dave Hamilton pitch over into left field. Now that scores Concepcion, and Rose takes third the hard way, head first. And when that throw went to third, well, Joe Morgan went to second, and Horland stood up in the bullpen for the A's. Bobby Tolan at the plate. He sent Hamilton to the showers, the ball to right, and Rose and Morgan home, all with that one swipe of the bat. The coup de grace was then delivered by Cesar Geronimo. Following 2 walks and a wild pitch, Geronimo singled, scoring Tolan. Johnny benches well for the 4th and 5th runs of the inning. It was 8-1 and fini. The question is now, are the A's fini as well? We'll know that tomorrow. The Reds go with Jack Billingham, and the A's counter with Blue Moon Odom. In college football, the #1 Trojans rolled on. Without Sonny Sixkiller, the Washington offense couldn't hope to keep up with the USC attack, but about 60,000 watched a good Husky defense hold USC scoreless at least through the first 14.5 minutes. At that point, with his legs wrapped up, watch this, Mike Ray passes into the corner to a diving J.K. McKay. Next play, well, it's Cunningham up and over for the TD and almost all that the Trojans would need. But they were, of course, to get a lot more. Early in the second quarter, Anthony Davis broke down the far sideline with a tightrope act that went 44 yards for another touchdown. USC added a field goal before intermission for a 17-0 halftime lead. Just over 2 minutes gone in the third quarter, and it's Davis for 14 more and a 27-0 lead and a bit of a dance act in the corner. The scoring ended for the Trojans late in the period as Sam Cunningham went up and over again from the 1 for a 34-0 final. This was an apparent TD in the second. However, despite its aesthetic charm, it didn't count on the books as the Trojan was caught holding. It was Ray to Garrison for 63 yards, but it was only good for extra.
Thank you very much, Jerry. Harbor officials are still trying to get rid of a king-size headache off Point Furman. We'll be back with that story and more news as Eyewitness News continues.
More news in a moment.
Jockey Norman Kerr is about to shave, but before he does, he's got a hard workout to ride. He's off. What's he trying to prove? That Rapid Shave's extra wet lather will stay moist until he shaves it off. Can he still get a moist, comfortable shave?
How's the shave, Norm? Real moist and real comfort.
Rapid Shave, you never had a wetter shave.
This is a totally different kind of razor blade. It makes shaving easy. Now, I wouldn't dare do this with an ordinary blade, but Wilkinson has reinvented the razor blade, the bonded blade, bonded permanently at the precise shaving angle and exposure. But don't do it this way. Use the handle that comes with it. It's even easier. Safer, too. The Wilkinson Bonded Shaving System. It makes shaving easy.
The World Series is going all the way to 7 games. Cincinnati's Big Red Machine evened it up at 3-3 today by defeating the Oakland Athletics 8-1. And tomorrow will decide the championship. ABC's Dwayne Dow narrates highlights from today's game.
Vida Blue, in a starting role for the Oakland Athletics, pitches to Johnny Bench in the 4th inning. Bench connects and gives it a mighty ride into the upper deck, his first homer and first run batted in the World Series. Oakland battles back in the 5th inning against Gary Nolan. Dick Green rips one, and it goes up against the right field wall, sending Sal Bando across home plate, tying the game at 1-1. But by the 6th inning, the Reds are back to a 1-run lead. Bobby Tolan off for third. Base hit for Tony Perez. Off relief pitcher Bob Locker. Tolan scores, giving Cincy a 3-1 lead as the Reds' bats finally are alive. In the 7th inning with 2 men on, Joe Morgan drives a hit off Oakland's third pitcher, Dave Hamilton. Dave Concepcion comes around to score, and Pete Rose goes head first into third. 52,000 Reds fans sensing the kill. Bobby Tolan singles. Rose comes in to score, followed by Morgan. The Reds rout the Athletics 8-1. Tomorrow, Game 7, winner take all. Dwayne Dow, ABC News.
That's the world in national news. I'm Sam Donaldson. Good night.